Hello students, welcome to Ekam IAS Academy. Today we have with us Santosh Rao sir and SPS Obrai sir to discuss about the ongoing India-Canada diplomatic tussle. Welcome sir.
Thank you, madam.
The first question to you Santosh sir. So please briefly give us the overview of the current situation.
So the thing is, recently Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, he made a few remarks. It is regarding assassination of one person, Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Actually, he related to one of the organization, Khalistani Tiger Force, and he was saying that Indian agencies are behind this killing. Actually, to give a context to this, NIA already pursuing about him because he was connected to, there was a plot to kill one priest in Jalandhar. In that context, NIA issued lookout notice to him, and he was suspecting that Canadian government is suspecting that Indian agencies are behind that. So India was not comfortable with that. And of course, Justin Trudeau recently visited to India to attend the G20 summit. We all know that recently G20 summit happened in India. Yeah. At that time, they raised the matter. Of course, we given the explanation, and we also requested Canada to don't encourage this kind of protest officially, at least. In spite of that, after going to his country and he made this kind of remarks, in return to that, our Prime Minister called the Canadian diplomats and asked them to leave within 5 days. This is actually the present situation.
Thank you, sir. Sir, Obrai sir, and how? So you please tell us how far the call for Khalistan is justified.
See, any call which is not on the constitutional dimensions is not justified. Be it Khalistan or be it any secession movement. See, Khalistan was a if you see historically, it is a pre-independent movement. And Khalistan as a call did not get any traction on the Indian soil. So what has happened is these inimical elements who are against India's strong bonding, unity in diversity, they have cultivated their strong footholds in some foreign countries like Canada, UK, France. In these places, these people brought up institutions like Hardeep Singh Nijjar, sir spoke about him just now. He happens to be the chief of Khalistan Tiger Force. Like that, there is one more entity called Six for Justice. So these people are not letting the issue of Khalistan die. So there is somewhere vested interest in this. International agencies also want to use Khalistan as a fault line in India. So the very rightly what Prime Minister said, made a statement that Canada should not be supporting any such events on the soil of Canada. Canada also being a democratic country, UK also being a constitutional monarchy, they should not allow their land to be used for any such anti-India sentiments, be it Khalistan or any other thing. So Khalistan as an issue has died on the Indian soil. We have the six per se have accepted to be part of India, so that issue has died down. During Indira Gandhi, during Rajiv Gandhi, during Jawaharlal Nehru, and also during Vajpayee's time, this issue had flared up on many occasions. So the issue in Indian soil has died. The international community is not allowing this issue to die, primarily with an intention to use it as a fault line against India, which is very, very disappointing. And obviously, as a democratic country, we will not encourage it. So we as a country should be standing, and we are standing with our Prime Minister when he said that these remarks made against India are unjustified, only provoking in nature, nothing.
Okay, so basically it should be remain like an internal matter.
Yes, it is an internal matter, and internally it has died. Okay. The call for Khalistan, see, Indian Sikhs have never supported the call of Khalistan. It was masterminded in Pakistan with a definite intent of breaking India, disintegration of India. When it lost traction in India, that is when people started moving out in places like Canada and all, where the Sikh population is in large numbers. So that is how at regular intervals these issues will keep cropping up. But India as a nation is very strong when it comes to its preparedness, whether it is defense or diplomacy, they will take care of it. So I think very, very rightly, as sir also has brought out, we expelling the diplomat of Canada is a very good message that we have not liked what Justin Trudeau had said. Okay. That's what it is.
Thank you, sir. And sir, your question, your opinion on calling back our diplomats?
Yeah, it's continuation to what sir told. Obviously, when you have some issues with any other particular country, the norm in the international relation is all about, first we will express our diplomatic discontent, like this is what happened. Formally we are disapproving their act. Later, of course, we will send the letter, as well as hotlines, we will speak to the head of the state in the particular country. Actually, that kind of talks were already happened on the sidelines of G20, according to our information from the MEA. That kind of things were happened. So now next thing is regarding, I don't think so it will be escalated further. We expelled our diplomats, their diplomats, and they are also, like, it's seeming like that they are toning down also this issue, because they are calling for, let this issue resolve peacefully. And even not only that, even India expressed disapproval in terms of temporarily suspending the visas also. Okay, and India is also saying that this may harm the ongoing trade talks. If you look at that, the overall international trade of the Canada is around 1.5 trillion Canadian dollars. Out of that, trade with India is only around 1.5 to 1.6 billion Canadian dollars. So India is the 10th largest nation. Significantly, they can pin certain trade hopes on India also. So I hope they can resolve this issue pretty much soon. And one more thing, if you remember rightly, when such kind of human rights violations happened in Uyghur community in Xinjiang province in China, if you look at that time, majority of the countries, they expressed their disapproval by diplomatic boycotting the Winter Olympics games, if you remember, rather than going for the full-scale war, full-scale anything like that. Nowadays, majority of these countries are nuclear power nations. We cannot we cannot declare war, direct war, physical war. We cannot wage the war. So this is the effective way calling out the diplomats from Indian soil.
Okay, new way of disapproving.
Yes, disapproving. Yes, it's a kind of soft war.
Okay.
You can call it as.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. And Sir Oberoi, sir, and what could be the way out of the situation?
See, as we generally teach in our classroom, the purpose of diplomacy is to avoid war. Okay. See, Canada is not a neighbor to India. So there is no question of India going on war with Canada or Canada going on war with India. It will affect trade at the end of the day.
Okay.
We have to understand somebody is not happy with our increasing deeper strategic relations with Canada.
Okay.
See, if you know the Canadian demography, the Sikhs in Canada are 2.1% population of Canada. Who are these people? These are the people who have migrated to Canada in 19th, 20th and the 21st century. So a lot of hard work they have done to earn their position in Canadian politics, Canadian economy, Canadian judiciary. Last time 2018 when Justin Trudeau came to India, he made a statement, I have more Sikhs in my parliament than yours. It means it is a reflection of our socio-cultural landscape in Canada. So somebody is not happy with this. So we need to understand that there is an ill mind who is trying to do something wrong between India and Canada. Both the nations have to come above this particular issue, sit down peacefully, try to find a diplomatic solution to it. At the earliest, the best. So that it will give a lesson to other countries also. You cannot use a fault line against India. So all effort should be concentrated on engaging with Canada. Somewhere I feel Canada should not have expelled Indian diplomat, because the moment you expel a diplomat, it only shows the frustration on your part without applying logic. So India has to do a tit for tat because they have expelled, so we were left with no other choice to expel the Canadian diplomat in India. So now that both the diplomats have been expelled, so there is no communication between the countries. That should not have been the case. See, India is not only the largest democracy, it is also a mature democracy.
Yeah.
So this is the time to show maturity to the world, that small issues cannot disturb the relations between two well-established democracies. That's what is the opinion. Okay. So diplomacy is the way, and we should explore all the possibilities. We should use our good office in Canada. US has a very strong influence in Canada, so we should use our influence in US also to establish a sphere of influence over Canada, not to do certain dimensions which affect India's national interest. Okay? That's the way.
One more question, sir.
Yeah.
So how will it affect the Indian diaspora elsewhere?
Yeah, very good question actually, Sudha ma'am. See, the Indian diaspora is one of the soft powers of our country. And when it comes to numbers and the quality in the sense, the Indian diaspora, the first generation, second generation, now third or fourth generation diaspora is visible. It is a hard work of generations. If youth of this generation just getting carried away by some ill-minded organizations, if they support this, they will undermine the hard work of the previous Indian diaspora generations. So people should be very, very careful. See, Jawaharlal Nehru once made a statement. This issue, something similar to this had come in Singapore and Malaysia also then. Jawaharlal Nehru very clearly said, you have gone to that country, you have decided to stay to that country. Now it is that country that you are responsible for. So all your allegiance will go to that country only. So you be part of that country. Unnecessarily do not seek Indian intervention in the internal affairs. So we should follow that. Wherever Indian diaspora is there, we should engage with them. Our diplomats established at the highest levels should regularly engage with the Indian diaspora, basically to counsel them not to be part of any event or any procession where anti-India sentiments are raised. So this is how we need to educate our Indian diaspora at regular intervals. Not because this event has happened. No. It should be a process where at regular intervals the highest Indian diasporas, they are meeting with the diplomats, proper counseling sessions are held because they are our power. They should not become our weakness. That's the idea. That's the idea. Okay? So be it Canada, UK, US, entire Europe per se, we should be engaging very vibrantly with our Indian diaspora.
Okay. It should remain as a cultural tie only.
Yes. It should bond us with that country. It should not become a bone of contention. It should bond us. Diaspora is meant to bond. That's the reason why we should work in that direction.
Thank you, sir. What are the question is, why are the countries like Canada and UK supporting this?
So the reason is, if you go back to the present international conditions, countries where like leaders are ultra-nationalism, who are exercising the ultra-nationalism, they are getting a lot of charm. If you look at Turkey, Tayyip Erdogan, he is very popular because his ideas is ultra-nationalism. Malaysian president, same thing is happening. Donald Trump, same thing is happening. And rest of the countries, wherever you are seeing popular leaders, they are ultra-nationalists. That means they are they are raising voice for the cause of their people. Sometimes they are going beyond the limit that, even though at the extent of damaging the bilateral relations also, they are projecting themselves that they are the persons who are protecting their rights. So if you understand with this perspective, Justin Trudeau also, in Canada perspective, okay, he was projecting himself as that I am the protector of your rights. If something is happening to you, okay, in spite of India is a very big country, in spite of India is leading the global south, in spite of India is hosting the G20, I am raising your voice. That means entirely he is looking for his political mileage. If we equate that with the Sri Lankan issues in Sri Lanka, I mean Tamilian issues in Sri Lanka, every national party which forming the government, they are supposed to be vocal for the Sri Lankan Tamilians who are living in Sri Lanka. Why that is the case? Because if you are able to raise voice, then only you will get the votes in Tamil Nadu. So if you look at the internal perspective of Canada, obviously that is for their political thing as well. So nowadays you know that practically, I mean, if you say, as the leaders are becoming very rhetoric, they are getting lot of mileage in that particular country. So in terms of India, if you look at that, it's maybe dampen the relations what we built over the period of time. But in terms of, if you look at as a politician in Canada, then obviously you will get a lot of mileage in the Canadian civil society. So now everyone, they say them as a messiah who is protecting their rights. So that is the reason this steam traction is gaining. The same thing happened in UK also. Okay, when Boris Johnson was there. Okay, now when, I mean, of course now Rishi Sunak after he became Prime Minister, that the tone was down a little bit. But when Boris Johnson was there, when Britain Mayor, was that Sadiq? Sadiq Mohammed something, okay. When he was there, the kind of tempo regarding the UK relation with Islamic nations, it happens. Because the world is, the people are, like they are worshipping these kind of ultra-nationalist leader.
Okay, on positive note, actually it is projecting the India stand, means India's power. Means you are saying they are using it as for political gain.
Yes, they are projecting themselves that, see, even though we are having good relation with India, for your cause, yes, I am raising my voice.
Okay.
When rest of the countries are, like UK, USA, Australia, when they are in the part of Quad 2.20, and like India, Middle East, Europe economic corridor, when these things are going on, Canada is the only country which stood out against India just for your cause. That is, they are going to project in their country.
Political mileage. Basically,
Yes.
political mileage locally in Canada.
Yes,
That's the
at the end of the day, so it's like Machiavellian politics.
PSIR teacher is speaking.
Yeah, along with the international.
Okay, so one last question to you,
Yes,
sir.
ma'am. Yes.
As many of the Sikhs are part of Indian Army,
Yes.
so how this particular issue will impact the moral of the Sikhs?
No. See, understand, ma'am. I got your question. You are basically trying to ask how this will impact the Sikhs who are working in the army, who are serving the country, right? Say, frankly speaking, probably 0%. Why? Because our army is a very disciplined force. From day one in the armed forces, we are taught to be apolitical. So whatever happens on the political front, we are taught to be a-religious. We are not supposed to discuss any religious dimensions in the domain of armed forces. Because this situation is not about injustice to somebody, elimination of a person who is wanted in India. So I don't think it will get any support from anybody, neither a Sikh nor any Indian from India, whether he is part of the army or a normal citizen of this country. So whether it is India behind the issue or India not behind the issue, we are not the ones to decide on this. Whatever has happened is bad. We also agreed that he should not have been done whatever has happened, and India has very clearly said we have no role to play in that. If you have been following the news, the raw head in Canada has also been called back. So it means India has taken this fallout very seriously.
Okay.
It showcases that India has got no role to play. We have always maintained the principles of Panchsheel, if you remember.
Yeah.
We do not interfere in the internal affairs of any country.
Yeah.
We are not like America. We are not like China or Pakistan or any country. India has always maintained its clear stand when it comes to international relations. We engage with our diaspora, that's the end of it. Our Prime Minister talks, our diplomats talk, we engage with them, we take care of them, we ensure that they do not face any problems in the host countries. That's the end of it. Okay. Beyond that, India will not and has not taken in the past also a single step. Okay. So don't worry, it will not have any impact on the Indian soldiers who are serving in the armed forces, because everybody knows it is a political statement. Okay. It is just a political statement, probably to wash out their inability to control the law and order situation in their country. Okay. So a common man also understands this. So it is our responsibility to stand with our nation in these testing times of bilateral relations with a country like Canada. Okay. So this is what I personally feel. Okay. No impact whatsoever on the morale of the forces. Okay. No impact.
Here I'd like to add one more point.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, when this Bhindranwale, when he was being assassinated through Operation Blue Star, we know that on 31st October 1984, when Indira Gandhi was assassinated, later unfortunately a lot of civil violence was happened, like in Delhi. In spite of that, still so many people are working in army.
Yes. Yeah.
So the incidents which happened in India against their families, it was not affected their patriotism, means some miles away in different continent, different causes not going to be affected anyway.
Not have any impact whatsoever. So see, at the end of the day, a most wanted person has been eliminated.
Okay.
He is a wanted person. NIA has issued, as sir brought out, a lookout notice for him. Okay. I hope you understand the repercussions of a lookout notice.
Yeah.
He is involved in many other crimes. And KL of the Khalistan Tiger Force, not KLF, Khalistan Tiger Force, it is an unlawful association. As per your UAPA Act also, 1967, in the Schedule 2, it has been declared as a terrorist organization. A chief of a terrorist organization has been killed. Who has killed him, we don't know. But what has happened is good only. Because a terrorist killing a country cannot support.
Yeah.
Whether it is Canada or any other country, if he is a terrorist who has been killed, yes, the proper procedures have not been followed in the elimination of a terrorist, we also object to that. So, but trying to make him a hero that should be avoided. That should be avoided. Because if you remember, we had an issue of Burhan Wani in JNK. Lot of following he had. His ceremony, death ceremony was attended by lakhs of youth. That's not the case here. Nobody is even bothered who Hardeep Singh Nijjar is, because he is a terrorist at the end of the day. He is a declared terrorist. He is a declared terrorist. Okay. That's, I don't think any effect will happen.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you
Thank
very
you,
much,
sir.
all of you.
Thank you. Thank you.